Welcome. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of economics, focusing on the relationship between microeconomics and macroeconomics. These two branches might sound similar, but they actually look at the economy from very different perspectives. Understanding how they connect helps us see the bigger picture of how markets, businesses, and governments interact. Let's start by briefly defining each field before exploring how they influence each other and why both are essential for understanding economic realities. Microeconomics zooms in on the small-scale decisions made by individuals, households, and businesses. It examines how these players allocate resources, set prices, and respond to changes in supply and demand. Think of microeconomics as looking through a microscope at the economy's building blocks, like how a coffee shop decides its prices or how consumers choose between products. These choices collectively shape the market and influence larger economic trends. On the other hand, macroeconomics takes a step back to look at the economy as a whole. It studies broad trends like national income, unemployment rates, inflation, and economic growth. Macroeconomics helps us understand how government policies, international trade, and overall market forces impact the big picture. It's like viewing the economy from above, seeing how all the smaller parts fit together to create national and global trends. While both branches study economics, their focus and methods differ. Microeconomics is concerned with individual markets and decision makers, while macroeconomics looks at aggregate outcomes. For example, microeconomics might analyze why the price of apples rises, while macroeconomics examines why inflation is increasing across the entire economy. Recognizing these differences helps clarify what each field can explain and predict. Decisions made by individuals and firms in microeconomics collectively shape macroeconomic outcomes. For instance, if many people decide to save rather than spend, this can slow economic growth and affect national income. Similarly, if businesses invest in new technology, it can boost productivity and overall economic performance. Micro-level choices are the foundation for macro-level trends. Macroeconomic conditions also impact individual and business decisions. For example, during a recession, high unemployment and low consumer confidence can lead businesses to cut back on production or delay investments. Government policies like interest rates or taxes can change the incentives for spending and saving. In this way, the broader economic environment shapes the choices made at the micro level. Market equilibrium is a key concept where micro and macroeconomics meet. At the micro level, it describes the point where supply equals demand in a specific market. At the macro level, the sum of all market equilibriums influences overall economic stability. Understanding equilibrium helps explain price stability and resource allocation in both small and large contexts. Governments play a vital role in both micro and macroeconomics. At the micro level, they regulate businesses, protect consumers, and enforce contracts. At the macro level, they manage fiscal and monetary policies to stabilize the economy, control inflation, and reduce unemployment. The interaction between government actions and economic agents is crucial for a healthy economy. Micro and macroeconomics aren't just theories, they affect our daily lives. When you decide to buy a product, you're making a microeconomic choice. When you hear about inflation or unemployment rates on the news, that's macroeconomics at work. Both perspectives help us understand the forces shaping our financial decisions and the broader economy. Microeconomists use models to predict how changes in prices, technology, or preferences affect individual markets. These models help businesses set prices, governments design regulations, and consumers make informed choices. By analyzing supply and demand, elasticity, and competition, microeconomics provides tools for understanding market behavior. Macroeconomists rely on indicators like GDP, unemployment rates, and inflation to assess the health of the economy. These indicators guide policy decisions and help forecast future trends. By tracking these measures, economists and policymakers can respond to economic challenges and opportunities on a national or global scale. Microeconomics and macroeconomics are deeply interconnected. Changes in one area often ripple into the other. For example, a new technology adopted by many firms micro can boost national productivity and economic growth macro. Likewise, a recession macro can change consumer behavior and business strategies micro. Recognizing this interdependence is key to understanding economic dynamics. Economic policies often require insights from both micro and macro perspectives. For example, tax policies affect individual behavior micro and government revenue macro. Minimum wage laws impact workers and businesses directly, but also influence overall employment and inflation. Effective policymaking depends on understanding both sides of the economic equation. Analyzing the relationship between micro and macroeconomics isn't always straightforward. Economic systems are complex, and changes in one area can have unexpected consequences in another. Economists use data, models, and historical trends to make sense of these interactions, but uncertainty remains. This complexity makes economics both challenging and fascinating. Sum up, microeconomics and macroeconomics are two sides of the same coin. They offer different perspectives but are closely linked, each shaping and being shaped by the other. By understanding both, we gain a clearer view of how economies function, from individual choices to national trends. Whether you're a student, business owner, or curious observer, appreciating this relationship helps you make sense of the economic world around you.